32-year-old woman is behind bars for stabbing and strangling a disabled 76-year-old roommate to death. At around 2:15 p.m. on Monday the 5th of February, authorities responded to a home at 28 Mitchell Drive in Faribault, Minnesota to conduct a welfare check on 76-year-old Gary Leemeyer. A woman called 911 after she went to his home for a medical appointment and found the house in a mess and his bedroom all bloody and was too frightened to look any further. When officers arrived, they found Gary deceased inside his home. He'd been repeatedly stabbed, strangled, bound at his ankles with a black power cord, and wrapped in several blankets, sheets and a heated mattress pad. The medical examiner determined the victim died of strangulation and multiple sharp force injuries, and his death was ruled a homicide. Police found blood on the bedroom walls, floors, as well as bloody footprints. They also noticed Gary's van was missing from the home, and later learned it was already in possession of law enforcement. Earlier that day at around 11:30 a.m, prior to the discovery of Gary's body, an Iowa State Patrol trooper pulled over Gary's vehicle in Des Moines, and the driver, identified as 32-year-old Arelene Bell, claimed to be heading to Mexico. The trooper reported that she looked as if she was under the influence of narcotics at the time. During a search of the vehicle, the trooper saw the rear seats had been removed, and there was a mattress on the floor. There was also a glass pipe with methamphetamine residue, as well as a bag of syringes and Narcan. Arelene admitted to the trooper that she was coming down from a high after she used meth for the past couple of days. Iowa law enforcement officials later learnt that the Faribault police were searching for Gary's stolen vehicle, which Arelene was driving. Arelene was booked into the Dallas County Jail on drug charges, and Rice County prosecutors later added a motor theft charge, and she was quickly linked to Gary's death. Arelene, who had been living with Gary, later told investigators that she was at their home and heard something fall on the floor, and when she went to check on Gary in his room, she saw red bullets near his feet. She said that she did not see any guns but was scared, and that he wouldn't let her leave the room. She claimed they got into a physical fight despite the elderly man having Parkinson's dementia and was physically unable to walk without help. Arelene admitted to stabbing her roommate multiple times and used a knife to saw at his wrists. She said that Gary then strangled her, threw a dehumidifier at her, and choked her with its cord. She said she cut the cord off the dehumidifier and noticed that Gary was bleeding profusely, and moments before his death he spat up blood. Afterward, Arelene tied the victim's feet together with a cord before wrapping his body, because she was afraid he would regain consciousness and kill her. She then went through Gary's belongings. She told police she took a shower to clean off the blood, and she took Gary's vehicle to drive towards the Mexico border. On the 23rd of February, Rice County prosecutors filed a second-degree murder charge against Arelene for Gary's death. Arelene has been held at the Dallas County, Iowa jail since her arrest and will be extradited back to Minnesota to face the murder and theft charges after her Iowa case is resolved. Arelene has an extensive criminal history and has previously been charged with making terroristic threats, burglary and harassment. The investigation into the matter continues. On Friday the 23rd of February 2024, 30-year-old Shanquilla Garvey was sentenced to 35 years in prison without parole after pleading guilty to murder in the 2017 beating death of her 8-month-old daughter Cherish Freeman. On the 20th of December 2017, Shanquilla was living temporarily at the Bel Air Motel at 1103 Plainfield Road in Joliet, Illinois with Cherish and 2 of her other children. Shanquilla became upset with Cherish when she would not stop crying, so she threw her to the dresser, picked her up, shook her, and slammed her onto the ground of the motel room. Cherish became unresponsive and Shanquilla called 911. The baby was rushed by ambulance to Ascension St. Joseph Hospital in Joliet, and then airlifted to the Advocate Children's Hospital in Oak Lawn for more specialized care. Medical staff determined that Cherish suffered 2 skull fractures, bleeding on the brain, and had a liver laceration. She died 4 days later from blunt force trauma on Christmas Eve in the hospital's intensive care unit. Shanquilla has been behind bars since her initial arrest on the 20th of December 2017. Of the 35-year sentence, she was credited with 2,377 days of time already served, which is roughly 6.5 years. Following Shanquilla's sentencing, Will County State Attorney James Glasgow said, "For a mother to beat her own baby to death is incomprehensible. Cherish was taken from this earth simply because Shanquilla Garvey wanted her to stop crying. This precious baby girl's last experience was one of trauma and suffering, something no prison sentence can ever undo." 3 women and 4 men are behind bars in connection to the kidnapping, torture, and murder of 20-year-old Mahogany Jacquise Jackson. At 11:15 p.m. on the night of Sunday the 25th of February, the Birmingham Police Department in Alabama announced a missing persons alert from Mahogany Jackson. She was last seen early that day wearing a blonde wig, black shirt and blue jeans. Mahogany sent a text to her mother at 7:46 a.m. early that morning, saying that she was being held hostage at apartment 3, and shared a location saying don't call but send police in a hurry. The location was pinged to Serenity Apartments in the Powderly neighborhood of Birmingham, Alabama. However, when police went to the building, they did not find Mahogany there. 26-year-old T.J. Lewis, who lives at the address, said that Mahogany had been there, but left the residence at around 2 a.m. that morning. At 2:19 a.m. the following morning, a passerby called 911 after finding Mahogany's body under a mattress in an illegal dumping site on the side of the road at 17th Street Southwest and Laurel Avenue, a few miles away from the Serenity Apartments. Authorities determined that Mahogany died from a gunshot wound, and her death was ruled a homicide. Investigators said that Mahogany's death was not a random act of violence, saying that she knew her killers, and even referred to some of them as her friends. Authorities said that TJ and Mahogany had an ongoing dispute, reportedly about something previously taken from TJ's apartment, and that people were looking for Mahogany. Fight videos were shared on social media following Mahogany's disappearance. Later that day, detectives carried out search warrants, including the second-floor apartment unit where Mahogany had been held. They also investigated several locations nearby. 7 suspects have been arrested in connection to Mahogany's death. Authorities said that within hours of finding Mahogany's body, TJ was taken into custody after being found hiding in a neighbour's apartment that she had broken into. The rest of the suspects were taken into custody over the next 24 hours. 23-year-old Giovanni Clapp, 25-year-old Blair Green, and 23-year-old Sonia McCall have each been charged with felony murder, kidnapping and sodomy, and 26-year-old TJ Lewis has been charged with felony murder. 24-year-old Brandon Pope, 25-year-old Francis Harris, and 18-year-old Jeremiah McDowell are charged with capital murder during kidnapping and capital murder during sodomy. TJ and Giovanni have also been charged with assault for pistol whipping Mahogany. They're all held at the Birmingham City Jail without bond. Birmingham Police Chief Scott Thurman said that at least part of the rape of Mahogany was recorded on video. The video, he said, played a large role in the investigation and the charges the suspects face. He said that police are withholding details of the attack to shield the family, but said Mahogany was taken to several different locations during the hours she was held and before she was fatally shot. The heinous nature of the death was worse than most he had seen in years. It was absolutely disgusting, he said. Jefferson County District Attorney Danny Carr said, "The actions displayed by the defendants were barbaric and have no place in society. The senseless and inhumane treatment perpetuated on young Mahogany Jackson was very disturbing and violent." Mahogany is survived by a toddler daughter. The investigation into the matter continues. Homicide investigations underway following the discovery of a woman's body. At around 4 p.m. on Tuesday the 20th of February, 2 teenage boys were enjoying a ride on their quad bikes along County Road 731, just off State Highway 334 in Forrest City, Arkansas, when they stumbled across a grey plastic container on the side of the road. Inside, they found a naked woman's body and called 911. St. Francis County Sheriff Bobby May said, "The body was partially decomposed. We think the body had been out there maybe a couple of weeks. Whoever did this had no feeling at all whatsoever for what they had done. No conscience." Sheriff May said that after the teens posted about what they found on social media, a person contacted him, saying that the woman may be his mother who was last seen 4 weeks ago. Sheriff May said he never reported her missing. The body was sent to the state crime lab to determine who the woman is and how she died. On the 26th of February, the sheriff's office said the victim was positively identified as 42-year-old Troy Alexandria Strope-Staggs of Forrest City. Her death was ruled a homicide, although authorities have not specified how she was killed. Investigators said that Troy was frequently seen riding her bike throughout Forrest City. Troy was a housewife and lifetime resident of Forrest City, Arkansas, and was a member of Widener Baptist Church. She is survived by a husband, 2 sons and 1 daughter. No suspect information has been released, and police are urging anyone with information in connection to Troy's death to come forward. Sheriff May said the search is very active to find out who put the woman there. "These are the kind of people we want to put behind bars for sure," he said. The motive in the killing is unclear, as the investigation into the matter continues. A 23-year-old man is behind bars for fatally shooting a 19-year-old hotel clerk. At 9:22 p.m. on Friday the 16th of February, authorities responded to Comfort Suites Hotel at 5730 North Haggerty Road in Canton, Michigan on reports of a shooting. When officers arrived, they found 19-year-old Veronica Crain behind the front desk with a gunshot wound to the head, and she was pronounced dead at the scene. Investigators allege that the victim's ex-boyfriend, 23-year-old Joseph Michael Slocum Jr., entered the hotel and shot Veronica, and he fled the hotel on foot. At 9:43 p.m, police responded to southbound Interstate 275 and Ford Road for a reported car accident. When officers arrived, they found Joseph lying in the middle of the road after he was hit by 2 cars, and he was hospitalized with multiple injuries. On Monday the 26th of February, Joseph appeared in court and was arraigned on charges of first-degree murder and felony firearm. He remains held at the Wayne County Jail with bond denied. Wayne County Prosecutor Kim Worthy said in a statement, "The most dangerous time for a domestic violence victim is when they're trying to leave the relationship. Horrifyingly, this case is a textbook example," she said. A McDonald's customer became angry and assaulted an employee at the restaurant because he touched the lid of his drink. The incident occurred at around 7 p.m. on Saturday the 24th of February at the South Station Transit Depot in Boston, Massachusetts, where the unnamed patron, identified only as a 34-year-old man, punched the fast food worker several times and used the cash register to assault him as well. The suspect was arrested and transported to MBTA Police Headquarters for booking. Authorities said the victim was treated at the scene for injuries. No further details of the incident were made available by police. McDonald's requires employees to wear gloves and wash their hands at least once every hour if they work in the food preparation area, although it's unclear if there are any rules about touching food service containers.